So good morning. Nice to be here on another hot summer day. How awesome for those of us who like the hot weather. Um, this has been a wonderful summer with the heat, and it looks like it's going to continue for a while. But it also poses a little bit of a challenge for those who have breathing issues. You know, aside from the pollen counts, when the humidity is really high, that can present a challenge for breathing as well. So we're going to continue with more of a focus on our breathing practice and some ways to kind of cool the body a little bit today. So I'm going to invite you to come up to the front edge of your chair and make sure you have lots of space around you. So if you're kind of close to something, take a moment and rearrange things so that you'll be able to put your legs out when we need to, put your arms out when we need to. Give everybody a chance to do that. All right. And then make sure you're sitting kind of equally on your sitting bones. So make sure you're not leaning to one side, or if you've got a cushion under there, that the cushion isn't kind of pushing you in one direction or the other. And also notice if you're sitting forward, like if your body is leaning forward a little bit, see if you can come back slightly. So the object here is to line the shoulders directly over the hips. For most of us, I can turn sideways so you can see what I mean. Most of us, we sit like this. So you can see my shoulders are forward of my hips. And what this does, it puts some strain on my back. And then in order for me to look straight ahead, I actually have to lift my chin slightly. So I don't know if you can see it, but the back of my neck now is short. So the back of my head is closer to my shoulder or the top of my upper back here. So the back of my neck gets a little shorter and compressed. If I just shift my posture so that my shoulders are lined up over my hips, then to look forward, you can see now my neck is lengthened in the back and it's lengthened in the front as well. So making that adjustment, excuse me, making that adjustment down at the hips and then to the shoulders is better than trying to adjust from your head, because your head should be kind of the last thing in that adjustment. As I get everything lined up here, the head should be the last thing in that adjustment. So let's go ahead and just kind of notice that. Relax your shoulders a little bit here. If your lower teeth and your upper teeth are kind of together, especially if you're clenching, open your mouth and let your jaw kind of hang down for a minute. And then you can close it a little bit if you'd like, but just try and keep your teeth, the upper teeth and the lower teeth, try and keep them a little bit apart. And you'll notice when you do that, you actually have to let your tongue relax, right? So your tongue is a little bit more relaxed in the bottom of your mouth. And now notice how you're breathing. Don't change anything about how you're breathing, but notice, are you breathing in and out through your nose? Are you using your mouth at all? So are you kind of getting some auxiliary input from the mouth, breathing in, breathing out, or one or the other, or maybe even both? A lot of us are mouth breathers and we're not even aware that we're doing that. It's more habit at this point than anything else. So also notice if your breathing rate is fast or slow. Do you feel like you're taking kind of quick breaths, or do they seem to be a little bit longer? And are your breaths shallow? So again, are they fast and does it feel like they're just kind of going into the top part of your chest, or are your breaths a little deeper? And is there another quality to your breath? Maybe there's this might sound kind of silly, but maybe there's a shape to your breath. Maybe you get this sense of a roundness to your breath. Or maybe it's kind of a square shape where you kind of inhale and then you hit a corner and then you go over and then you hit another corner. So sometimes the breath can have a shape to it. And does your breath have a sound? So can you hear the air as it moves in and out? Maybe it's loud, maybe it's subtle. So now that you've kind of taken stock of what your natural breathing is like in this moment, and it changes all the time. So that's why I resist using the word normal. So what is your natural breathing rate for right now in this moment? I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already done that, and bring some conscious awareness to your breath. And when I say that, what I mean is notice each breath as it moves in. How deep is it? How fast or slow is it? What sound is there? And notice each breath as you exhale. Again, how complete is that exhalation? Does it feel like you're really getting out all the stale air that's in your lungs, or do you feel like you could exhale a little bit more completely? Is it slow or is it fast? Is it difficult to exhale through your nose, or is it easier to exhale through your mouth? So that's real conscious awareness. We're going to begin to deepen the breathing now, really slowing it down, exaggerating how long it takes to breathe in and how long it takes to breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling slowly and deeply. And if you feel your body getting tense around trying to deepen the breath, see if you can simultaneously relax your body as you continue with these deep breaths. And let's begin to add a mental count to the breathing. So can you breathe into a slow mental count of 4? And breathe out to that slow mental count of 4. And if it's possible this morning to breathe in and out exclusively through your nose, if that's a little too challenging, try and use your mouth just on the exhalation. Try to still breathe in through the nose as much as possible on the inhalation as you're counting to 4. And you can breathe out either through your nose or through pursed lips, like you're blowing out a candle on the exhalation. Breathing in and out to a slow mental count of 4, relaxing tension in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Relaxing your fingers and your toes, your legs and your arms. Right now, there's nothing else to do except breathe and notice. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. And know that in any given moment of the day, your breath is the single most important thing you do. And yet, I've never seen breathing on anyone's to-do list. We fill those to-do lists with all kinds of trivial things, generally. And the most important function, the act of breathing in and breathing out with conscious awareness, it never makes it to that all-important list. So this is your opportunity just to focus on your breath. And continue with a slow count of 4 as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, see if you can do a slow count of 6. So we're going to breathe out a little bit longer. It's going to take a little more effort. What you can do is engage your abdominal muscles. When you get to the bottom of your exhalation, pull your belly in toward your spine as you exhale. That will help to press out all the breath. Before you inhale, you'll have to soften those belly muscles so that the body can inhale fully. Now, if it's comfortable for you this morning and you're not having any issues with your breathing today, you might create a restriction at the back of your throat and listen to the sound that the breath makes as it goes in and out. The sound is similar to putting a seashell up to your ear when you're at the ocean. And let your mind anchor itself to the sound that the breath makes. So you're still breathing in to a count of 4, breathing out to that slow count of 6, anchoring your mind in the sound of the breath. As you continue to breathe into a slow count of 4 and out to a slow count of 6, notice what's happening to your sense of awareness of everything else. Your awareness of your body, your awareness of your surroundings. And that awareness of your body and surroundings might be tied to how warm or cool you feel. Your sense of your body and your surroundings might indicate what things you hear and what you don't hear, what you smell. And is there a sense of spaciousness that wasn't there before? As you breathe into a slow count of 4 and out to a slow count of 6. And can you allow that sense of spaciousness to move into your shoulders, creating more space between the tops of your shoulders and your ears? Can you allow that sense of spaciousness to move into your ribs and underneath your arms? Breathing into that slow count of 4, feel that space expanding, and breathing out to a slow count of 6, feel that space gently contract. And can you allow that sense of spaciousness to move into the back of your body, to the space between your shoulder blades, below your shoulder blades, into the back of your rib cage? As you inhale, can you feel this part of the back of your body expand? And as you exhale, can you feel this part of the back of your body gently contract? Breathing in and breathing out. Slow count of 4 on the inhale, slow count of 6 on the exhale. Breathing into the spaciousness, breathing out into the relaxation. And then gently let go of the counting of your breath and allow your breathing to sort of go back to its natural rhythm. Now, this may be a different natural rhythm than it was before you did the conscious breathing. In other words, your breaths in and out might be naturally slower at this point than they were initially. Let your eyes gently open. And then let's take the arms up overhead and stretch the body. Breathing into the right side as you lengthen that side a little bit more, and then breathing into the left side. You can kind of go back and forth a little bit here. You can even add a little bit of a twist, just a very slight twist, especially for that upper back, the upper body. And then let your arms come all the way down. Bring your hands together. Interlace your fingers. As you interlace your fingers, notice what feels normal for you. So if you look at which thumb is on the top, that's the normal way you lace your hands. So we're going to take a deep breath in and lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, you're going to press your palms away and drop your chin to your chest. Breathe in, breathe out as you hold here. So round through the upper back. If you press the heels of your hands toward me, they'll round through the upper back. Keep your chin on your chest. Inhaling, exhaling. And with your next breath in, raise your arms way up overhead. Keep your fingers interlaced if you can. Reach up through the right heel of the hand and the left heel of the hand and keep breathing in and out. And as you're inhaling and exhaling, see if you can feel movement underneath your armpits and into your rib cage, right? So you might feel that on either side with the arms up overhead. And one more deep breath in, and as you next exhale, you're gonna release your fingers, let your arms float out to the sides, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your hands back there, bend your elbows, lift your elbows up. Now, you might start to lean forward, so lean back slightly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and let the elbows come closer together behind you, right? So if your elbows are way out here, see if you can bring them way back behind you. So you're really engaging those back of the shoulder muscles. Breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe in, breathe out, see if you can feel it right here in the front of the chest, in the upper part of the chest. You can lift your head slightly, but don't let your chin go up, because then the back of your neck gets short. Remember what I was saying at the beginning with that shortened neck? That's where a lot of us have some degeneration in the discs, some arthritis, some cracking and crunching and all of those nice little noises in there. And with your next exhalation, you're going to release your arms, float them back around, and then take your hands, interlace them the opposite way. So once again, just have a look. It should feel a little bit strange. Have a look and make sure the other thumb is on the top, not the one that was on the top before. We're going to hold the hands in this orientation. As we breathe in, lengthen through the spine, and as we breathe out, press the palms away, drop your chin to your chest, and hold here. Breathing in and breathing out, round through that upper back. So press the heels of your hands toward me and breathe into that space in the upper back, the space that's opened up when we're in this position. So we don't often think about breathing into the upper part of the back, and that's super important that we get some flexibility back there, because we can't always rely on the front of the body to do all the breathing. With your next inhalation, you're going to bring the arms up overhead. See if you can keep the fingers interlaced. Let's reach up through the heels of the hands. Maybe just a little bit right side, left side, if that feels okay. Breathing into the armpits, breathing into the ribs underneath the arms. So we get the side of the body involved as well. So lift, lift, lift a little higher. Go straight up, you guys, straight up. Breathe in, breathe out, get a little higher. Excellent, and then release the hands, float them around behind you. Now behind your back, interlace in that non-standard way. So the way that feels a little weird, and if you're leaning forward, lean back here, draw the shoulders back, lift the elbows up and pull them together. So you're squeezing shoulder blades, and you're bringing the elbows a little closer together, and you're sort of leaning back slightly in your chair. In other words, you don't want to be leaning forward like this. So we're not getting the most benefit. So the focus is right here in the front of the chest, in the upper part of the chest, to get some breath right in there. Let's take 2 more breaths here, in and out. And then let's release that. Let the arms come back. Let your hands rest on your lap. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Now, if you close your eyes, imagine witnessing your breath from the inside. So if you were sitting, somehow you could sit right in the middle of your chest and witness as you're breathing in and out. Where do you see movement? Do you see it in the front of your body? Do you see it in the back of your body? Do you see it in the sides of your body? So again, it's like you're sitting inside your chest. If you have your eyes closed, just kind of visualize yourself sitting inside your chest and noticing with each breath where you see movement. Let's take one full deep breath together, and we'll let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes gently open. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of work for the spine now. So many of you have told me that you have issues with your neck. So you have noises in there, you have limited range of movement, can't turn the head to one side, or if you look up, you get kind of pain. So I'm going to do some stretches, some discrete stretches for the neck. And before we do that, I just want to mention, because I've talked with some folks who have in the past done something called neck rolling, where you kind of go from one side, then you roll to the other side. I don't recommend that generally. And the reason for that is we have certain patterns of tension that we hold in our bodies. When we do neck rolling, if we're compressed in a particular area, that roll doesn't create any space. That roll just reinforces whatever restrictions we have. Instead of neck rolling, I prefer to do something more discreet, where we bring the chin to the chest, we turn the head in one direction and then the other, and then we bring the ears discreetly to the shoulders. So this allows for more space and we hold it longer. That's another thing that's really important in these neck stretches, is that you don't just go in and out of them quickly, because that reinforces that kind of compressed holding pattern that you might have. So let's just begin by allowing the chin to drop down toward the collarbones. Now for somebody with a tight neck, and I'm in this club, so I'm right along there with some of you, I'm sure. If the neck is tight, it can take several moments and several breaths to allow the muscles in the back of the neck to relax. So we're going to hold here for several long, slow, deep breaths. I'm going to invite you to breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. And as you breathe in, focus on your shoulders. Can you feel your shoulders lifting and lowering gently? And as you breathe in and out, can you feel, does your chin feel like it's getting a little closer to your chest with each breath in and each breath out? And if the answer is no, that's okay. It just might take a little bit more time. So the tighter your neck and shoulders and upper back are, the longer it might take for you to let go. So imagine your head is getting really heavy. And the heavier your head gets, the more it's gently pulling on the tight muscles in the neck and the shoulders and the upper back. And then really slowly lift your chin. And just notice what your neck and shoulders feel like. Notice what your upper back feels like. And then we're just going to turn the head to the right. So we're turning just the head and the neck, not the shoulders, not the back. So in other words, we're not twisting the body. We're actually just turning the head. So with the head turned all the way to the right, drop your chin as close to your right shoulder as you can get it. So again, your head is turned all the way to the right as far as it'll go, and you're just allowing your chin to come down a little closer to your shoulder. Now, your chin might be really close to your shoulder, or it might be very far away, and it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you feel a stretch in that left side of your neck, your shoulders, your chest, somewhere in that region. Breathe in and breathe out. So we're just keeping the head turned to the right, the chin close to the shoulder. The breath is smooth and steady, nice and long, slow, deep breaths. Now slowly lift your chin up from your shoulder. So you want to lift up first and then turn your head back to center. Take a moment and just notice. Right side, left side, front and back. And then turn your head to the left. So turning your head to the left, keep the shoulders straight. So don't allow your body, you don't want to turn your body to the left, just the head and the neck that are turning. So your your head is turned as far as it can go to the left, and we're just going to gently drop that chin toward the shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Same thing that we did on that right side. So as you're holding here, notice, are you lifting your left shoulder up to try and meet your chin? See if you can relax your left shoulder. Are you clenching your jaw, thinking in some way that that's going to get your chin closer to your shoulder? I guarantee it won't. So no use in expending all of that energy. Might as well just let it relax. Breathe in, breathe out. And then slowly lift your chin from your shoulder and then turn your head back to center. Excellent. So noticing once again what your neck feels like. All right, let's take that right ear and drop it toward the right shoulder. Take your left hand off your lap and let it hang down toward the floor. Now with your arm hanging down, we're going to take the right hand and place it on the left shoulder top and just push down gently. So what you're doing is you're trying to bring the top of that shoulder away from the ear a little bit. So with the head in this position, we're going to turn the chin down toward the floor and then gently rotate and turn the chin up toward the ceiling. So keep your ear as close to the shoulder as you can as you do this very gentle, very slow movement with your head. It's like the direction is like no. It's like you're saying no. But it's kind of weird because your ear is close to your shoulder. So it's a strange looking no, but that is the movement, just so you can connect that in your brain. So we're turning that down and up, breathing in and out. And the next time your chin is down toward the floor, hold here and breathe. And breathe into that left shoulder, the left side of your neck, your left arm. And turn your chin forward again and then slowly lift up your head. Release your arm. Let both arms hang down by your sides. Take a moment, maybe even close your eyes and notice if the left shoulder top feels lower than the right shoulder top. If it feels like there's more space between your left shoulder and your left ear than on that right side. And then you can take your left hand to your lap and bring your left ear toward your left shoulder. Right hand is kind of hanging down by your side. You're going to take your left hand up and place it on the top of that right shoulder and pull down. So we're trying to pull that shoulder down away from the ear. And we're breathing in and breathing out. So the breath is always smooth and steady. And then really slowly, we're going to turn the chin down toward the floor and then up toward the ceiling, keeping the ear as close to the shoulder as you can go here. And you may notice that when you do this movement on one side, it feels different than the other side. That is normal. We tend to hold tension in uneven patterns. We rarely have tension evenly distributed. If we had tension evenly distributed, we would likely not have pain because it would be even. It's in that unevenness that we get pain and discomfort. Right? So breathing in and breathing out. And the next time that your chin is down toward the floor, you're going to hold here with the ear as close to the shoulder as you can, pulling down on that right shoulder with the left hand. Slow, round breathing. And then bringing your chin back up to center, we're going to lift the head off that shoulder. Release your left hand. Let both arms hang down by your sides. Take a moment, notice and feel your neck. So do a really gentle yes movement with your head. You don't have to lift your chin too high. Most of us have enough practice with the chin lifted too high, so it's more about the chin coming down. And just one more time. Good. And then back to sort of normal position. So again, thinking about the shoulders being over the hips, not forward of the hips, but over the hips. I'm gonna bring the feet a little wider apart and have your hands resting on your thighs. You can have your fingers kind of facing in a little bit. Get your back nice and tall and straight. Pull your belly in slightly. And then we're gonna come forward like you're trying to bring your nose down to the floor and then come all the way up. So leaning forward and coming back up. Now, I'd like to do things that I can get kind of a double benefit. So as I come forward, I'm using my back muscles to create a little braking motion. As I come up, if I press into my hands, I'm going to get some workout here in the shoulders and the arms. So if you want a little bit of an arm workout, press into your hands and use your arms to push yourself up. If you'd like to get a little bit more of a workout for your back, try not to use your hands and your shoulders. Likewise, you can press into your feet. As you press into your feet, you'll feel your leg muscles engage as well. So all these things, as you're noticing all of this stuff in your physical body, notice your breathing. Is the breath still smooth and steady? Or did the breath get really shallow because you started noticing all this other stuff? Okay. So just a couple more times, coming as far forward as you can. Can you get your nose right down toward that floor? You can bring your knees as far apart as you need to get your nose as close to the floor as possible. And one more time, forward and back. Excellent. Okay, so let's take the feet a little closer together now. All right, we can let the arms hang down by the sides. And now notice your sitting bones. They should be even on the chair, right? So your weight is kind of even between the left side and the right side. Don't allow that to shift. In other words, when we're going to be side bending now, when we lean to that right side, don't let all the weight come into that right sitting bone and your left sitting bone feel like kind of lifts. You want to keep that same even feeling in the sitting bones, because what we're doing is we're going to target stretching the sides of the body here. And this is good not just to get more mobility in the waist, but also to strengthen it a little bit. Without the hands on the lap, you're going to get more strength in the waist. If you're feeling like your back is getting too much of a workout at any time, you can place your hands on your thighs, but I'm going to demo this with the arms down by the sides. So we're just going to lean to that right side, bring your fingers toward the floor, make sure you've got evenness in those sitting bones, and then come all the way up, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're just going from side to side, breathing in and breathing out, right? So just back and forth, real gentle kind of movement. Now you might be noticing when you move to one side that it has a different feel than the other. So maybe you're tighter on one side, or maybe you're not as strong on one side. So when I go to my right side, I feel like I can go farther than when I go to my left side. Or when I go to my left side, I feel kind of a little bit too much of a stretch here on the right side. So maybe just monitor that. Now, if you want a little bit more, as you lean to one side, you can take the opposite arm and bring it up and then all the way down. If that's too much, if you find that that other sitting bone is lifting up off the chair, just go back to the movement without the arms. If it's making you a little too hot or a little uncomfortable, again, just kind of go back to this movement without lifting the arm up overhead. It is all up to you. Right? How your body feels, that's the most important thing we can learn in our yoga practice, is how to honor the body and where we're at any given time. Let's just go one more time on each side. So over to that right side and left side. Nice job, everybody. And then coming back to center. Great. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall once again. We're going to do a little bit of twisting. So some of you might have noticed that we're doing the 6 movements of the spine, right? So that forward bending, the side to side bending, and now the twisting. And in this twisting, again, we don't want to be forward with the shoulders. You want to have the shoulders lined up over the hips. And we're going to start the movement with the head, right? So it's oftentimes we try and start the movement like somewhere in the middle part of the body. And this is often where we get into trouble. You know, I just turned and twisted and ow, you know, I couldn't straighten back up, or had like this pinching sensation. So when we do twisting, with the spine nice and tall and with mindful breathing, the chances of having that little ow moment are greatly reduced. So let's start with the hands just resting on the thighs. I'm going to turn the head to the right. Now turn your head as far as it'll go. Don't turn your shoulders until your head gets as far as it's going to go. And then begin to turn your shoulders. Now when your shoulders have turned as far as they'll go, you can begin to turn the rest of your body all the way down. Imagine your spine is like it's like a helix, right? So it's twisting from the top all the way to the bottom. So right now you're looking back as far as you can, and you can feel that twist into the hip, but don't let your left sitting bone slide forward. So that's your anchor point. And now to unwind, just really slowly unwind. You can start with your head if you want, or you can start with your back if you want, whatever feels okay. Coming right back. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So start turning just your head to the left. And then your shoulders once your head is turned, and then your whole body all the way down. Same thing, just going really slowly, breathing mindfully into the twist. Holding here for a few breaths. And then slowly twisting back. Let's do that again to the right, head first. Shoulders, breathing in, breathing out, upper back, mid back, low back. Looking all the way behind you. Slowly coming back the other way. So the breath is smooth and steady. Head first as you go to the left. Then shoulders, then upper back, mid back. Unwinding as you come back to center. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So really slowly turning the head, the shoulders, the upper back, mid back, low back. Unwinding, coming all the way back around. Last time we're going to go to the left with the head, the shoulders, upper, mid, and lower back. And coming all the way back around to center. Good. Close your eyes for a moment. Take some breaths. As you breathe in and out, bring your focus into your rib cage. So feel your rib cage from under your arms, right up in the armpits, all the way down to your waist. Feel it on the sides of your body. Feel it in the back of your body. Feel it in the front of your body. As you inhale and exhale, see if you can feel that rib cage expanding and contracting. Notice if there's a little more awareness of the flexibility in your rib cage. As your rib cage gets more flexible, you're able to take deeper, fuller breaths. And let your eyes gently open. Okay, let's do this. Let's extend the legs. So if you're right up by the front of your chair and you need to scoot back a little bit so you don't fall off, that's okay. If you're so far back that it feels like the chair is cutting you off in the back of your legs, you might need to slide forward. So extending both legs, have your heels on the floor and lift your toes up toward your shin. Squeeze your buttocks a little bit so you get a little bit taller in your chair. Relax your jaw and your neck. So if you tighten your jaw, that doesn't help your buttocks. So you want to do that all with your buttock muscles. So now let's squeeze and extend the toes. So we've got the leg muscles here really active and strong. We've got the buttock muscles active and strong, and those jaw muscles are relaxed. And we're squeezing and releasing the toes. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to just hold on to my chair here. So if you're feeling like you're close to the edge of your chair and you might slide off, you can do this. If it feels like your back is not really doing a good job of supporting you right now, having the hands here can help your back a little bit too. Okay, and then let's relax the toes, and we're going to point one foot and flex the other, and then switch. So we're pointing the toes toward the floor and then lifting the toes of the other foot. So we're just going back and forth here, right? And you can let your knees bend a little bit if you want. So what we're really trying to do is get some movement here in the ankle. Great. Okay, then relax your left foot. You can just kind of bend it a little bit. We're going to take the right foot off the floor and circle at the ankle. and reverse the direction of your ankle circles. You can do that with the heel on the floor if that's better for you, or you can have it lifted for a little more work with the quadriceps muscles. And then let's just bend and extend the knee. So really slowly bending and extending the knee. Now you might have some pretty good range here with your knee, or you might not. So just notice that. Notice where you're able to get your foot when you bend, and how well you're able to straighten your leg. That's the other thing. So when you straighten, really give these muscles up here a squeeze. That helps to work that knee a little bit more. Just one more time, bending and extending, and then we're gonna bring that foot to the floor and go to the other side. So again, just bend and extend, bend and extend. This might be a good time to have your hands alongside the chair, alongside your hips rather, on the chair, because we're often not even aware when the body starts to do this, because it just feels like a natural position for us. So just a couple more on this side. Great, and then we'll just, after the next extension, bring that foot to the floor. Okay, so let's, we're gonna work a little bit for the hips. So we did the toes, we did the ankle, we did the knee, and now we're gonna do a little bit of work for the hips. So once again, I like to have my hands here on the chair. You could even go farther back on your chair. So if you bring your hands back a little bit and lean back slightly, we're gonna take that right foot off the floor and circle at the hip. Right, so circling at the hip. Now these can be really big circles, they can be small circles, doesn't really matter. Notice the direction that you've chosen to circle, and then let's reverse that up. Excellent. Great. And let's reverse one more time. And let's bring that foot down to the floor, and we're gonna go right into the other side. So take the other foot off the floor and circle. And it doesn't matter actually if you start with the left or the right. It's really whatever works for you. Just easier for me to always start on the right, because then I know where I'm at. And then let's reverse direction. So feel that in the hip, and then at some point reverse again. So we're going back in our kind of natural direction. Great, and then we'll bring that foot to the floor. Okay, so bring your feet a little wider than your hips. You can have your hands on your legs, or you can have your hands on the chair, and we're gonna let the knees come together and then come apart. And together and apart. Now you might need to walk your feet out a little farther or in a little farther. So what I'm encouraging you to do is have your feet far enough apart that when your knees come in, it poses a little bit of a challenge for your hips out here. In other words, if I have my feet this close, that does not give me any challenge in the hips at all. I have to go out here. Ooh, I can feel that now. So my knees don't come together, but it's quite challenging here in the hips. So we're just going out and in a few times, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, and then let's take the feet back in. All right, and we're gonna move into the upper body a little bit. So we did some work already for the wrists and the palms, but let's take the hands and just squeeze and extend the fingers a little bit. Relax your neck and your shoulders, relax your upper arms a bit. We'll get there. So we're just doing this little movement. And then let's start to circle at the wrists. So getting a little movement into all of those joints, the finger joints, the wrist joints. And then reverse the direction of your wrist circles. Good. All right, and then extend your arms and have your palms facing up and drop the arms down. And we're just gonna bend the elbows and tap the shoulders. So we're bending. So think about your elbows. Think about how wonderful and strong your elbows are and what they allow you to do here, right? So it's all the elbows and the muscles that control the elbows. It's all the elbow joint that allows you to tap your shoulders like this. That's kind of a cool thing. Now, let's see, the next time you bring your hands to your shoulders, can you bring your elbows up and out to the sides? So lift them up nice and high, but don't lift your shoulder tops up by your ears. Drop your shoulder tops down, but lift the elbows high. And we're gonna extend and bend at the elbows again. So same thing, only it's a little bit more challenge because we're keeping those upper arms lifted. Keep those upper arms lifted. Great. And the next time that your hands are in on your shoulders, let's pause here for a moment together. So whenever you get there, take your time. Okay. And now what we're going to do is make light fists with the hands. And imagine you have a 5-pound weight in each hand. So we're really slowly going to extend the arms with those 5-pound weights. So that means keep these muscles really strong and engaged, and 5 pounds as you come in. So really slowly, try not to squeeze your hands too tight. So sometimes we can transfer all of the work that we're trying to do with those biceps muscles. We transfer it to the hands by squeezing the hands. So we're just doing this really gentle, slow movement, little biceps curls. Great. Okay, next time your fists are on your shoulders, so you get your hands there with those little weights, we're going to take the elbows now, we're going to bring them back behind us a bit. Almost like, I always think of the chicken dance when I do this. So bringing the elbows back, and I'm going to turn sideways for a moment so you can see. So try not to do this with your chin. You want to keep the shoulders lined up over the hips, right? So not forward. You want to keep the shoulders lined up with the hips, and then the chin tucked slightly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to extend and bend, right? So you can see I'm keeping this shoulder nice and steady, and I'm keeping that upper arm lifted. I'm just bending and extending at the elbow here. So this is for your triceps, by the way, right? So for your triceps muscles, those are these muscles here. Those are the muscles that if you raise your hand to wave, those muscles might keep going after you're done waving if they're not nice and strong. So we're just trying to make them nice and strong here. Just a couple more of these, looking good. And last one. Great. And then release your arms. Let's shake everything out a little bit here. So those the upper arms don't get enough of a workout sometimes in that really discreet way to kind of get them to open up. So let's do this. Let's do a little bit of work now for the shoulder. And I know I've talked about this before, but I don't think we can hear it too many times, that the shoulder is the most mobile joint in the body, which is really kind of cool. It has mobility that no other joint in your body has, but it also makes it a really vulnerable joint. If we have it in full extension, so my arm is way out here and I try and pick up something really heavy, that's kind of a precarious situation for that shoulder. Better to have my arm in, my shoulder in a nice tight position, reach down and pick up that heavy thing in that fashion. So it's just about using your shoulder with some awareness. The other piece with the shoulder, again, being the most mobile joint in the body, is the shoulder is trained to what we do on a regular basis. So if I only ever reach forward and back with my arm in this direction, say I do this for, say I'm working at something and this is all I ever do, forward and back with that arm, I am going to lose my ability to raise my arm up overhead if I never use it. So when you do some work for your shoulders, when we do work for the shoulders, we got to incorporate all the different movements that the shoulder can possibly take. So let's take just a little bit of a journey here with this right arm. Let's extend that right arm out in front and then sweep it all the way around behind you. Don't turn your body, just let your arm go back and forth. So this is creating a stress, a good stress on that right shoulder joint. As we come across the body, it's stressing the back and it's strengthening the front. As we come back, it's stressing the front and strengthening the back. So we're breathing in and breathing out. Try and keep your body forward as we do this, right? Great. And then the next time that your arm is out to the side, hold it here. So here we are at the side. We're going to go all the way up overhead and all the way down toward the floor. Now, when you come up overhead, turn your palm up toward the ceiling. And when you're coming down, turn your palm down toward the floor. Breathe in, breathe out, lifting up and lowering down. Good. Excellent. 2 more times, going all the way out and all the way down. And last time, coming all the way up and all the way down. Okay. So we're going to take the arm back out to that halfway point, so right about to shoulder height. Now we're going to lift the arm and we're going to go up and to the left. So it's across the front of the body. And then we're going to go down and to the right. So it's a bit of a diagonal. So up to the left and down to the right. And keep going, up to the left and down to the right. And you can turn your palm up and down and see what works best for you, right? So I know for me, I like the palm up when I go up and down when I go down. It feels better in my shoulder. It's creating a little more space in that shoulder joint, so none of those little tendons get pinched in any way. Just one more time, we're gonna go up and down. And when we're down, now we're gonna take that arm, swing it forward and around, make a big windmill on that side. Now, if you're working with a shoulder injury, if you're working with some limitation in the shoulder, honor that. So if your arm only goes that high, do that. The more you do that and you kind of work to that edge of discomfort, the greater range you might get. The next time that your arm is down toward the floor, switch the direction of your circles. Try not to switch when you're up overhead, because the shoulder joint is then in that more precarious position, right? It's in that less stable position. And the possibility of getting a little pinch or a little ouch in there is increased a bit. So just one more circle up and around. I know this is a lot, especially for a warm day. And then let that arm hang down. Let your other arm hang down. Close your eyes for a moment. And notice if your right arm feels longer than your left arm. Notice if it feels wider on that side. Maybe feels like there's more space in your armpit. Maybe there feels like there's more space in your shoulder. Maybe there's a soreness in that shoulder that you kind of woke up a little bit. So take your right hand, let it come back to your lap. We're going to take the left arm now and do the same thing. So going across the body and then back behind. So this is just the arm that's moving. Remember that, it's not the body. We're not twisting the body. We did that already. We did the spinal twisting already. This is just for that shoulder joint. Now you might be noticing that you have a different range on this side than you did on the other side. And again, that's really normal. It's really normal to not be symmetrical one side to the other. I don't know where we ever got the idea that we're supposed to be perfectly symmetrical, that there's supposed to be a certain number of degrees of rotation or flexion or extension in a particular joint. And if you have that on the left, it should be the same on the right. It is absolutely not the case. It's just not how we're wired to use our bodies. Okay, let's go one more time. Great, and then we'll come back to kind of that center position. We're gonna go down and up. And once again, just a reminder, as the arm comes down, turn the palm down toward the floor. And as the arm comes up, turn the palm up toward the ceiling. This just protects that shoulder joint. So you have little tendons in here that cross from your arm up into your top of your shoulder, into your neck. Some of it gets up into your neck as well. And anybody who's ever had an injury to the rotator cuff, it's right there on the edge of your shoulder. And people with a rotator cuff injury, it's pretty easy to discern because they can point right to it. They can say, ouch, it's right there. And that's usually where the little tear or a little micro trauma is in that rotator cuff. This is called your shoulder joint. It's a rotator, and this part is the cuff, right? So that's all that is. Okay, so the next time that your arm is out to the side, we're gonna hold here, and we're gonna do that diagonal movement now. So go to the right and up, and then down to the left. And up and to the right, down and to the left. And again, notice what feels better for you with regard to how your palm is oriented. For me, as I go up, I like to have my palm up and forward. And as I go down, I like to have my palm down. It just feels more natural, feels like I'm creating more space in the shoulder joint. Just feels better all around in my body. Beautiful. And the next time that your arm is down, we're gonna take that arm, circle it up and around. Breathing in and breathing out. I don't think I've mentioned that for a little bit. So yeah, notice your breath. Beautiful. And the next time that your arm is down in that safe position, reverse. Go the other way. Yeah. Breathing in and breathing out. And again, just noticing if you've got some issues on this side, some limitation on this side, that's okay, just work with it. All right, and the next time the arm is down, we're gonna let it hang down by the side. Let the other arm hang down by the side. Close your eyes, you guys. Taking a breath, let it out with a sigh. And notice what your arms feel like. And then let your hands float back to your lap. And if you'd like to make yourself a little more comfortable on your chair, go ahead and do that. And as soon as you get comfortable, go back to that position with your eyes closed. With your eyes closed, make sure your shoulders are above your hips, so they're not forward of your hips. And imagine your head like a water balloon, just kind of perched on top of your shoulders. And allow your breath to get a little deeper and a little bit slower. Inhaling and exhaling with full awareness. Allow there to be some space between your upper teeth and lower teeth. To let your jaw and your face muscles be relaxed. Relax your feet and your legs, your hands and your arms. Let each breath in create expansion in your body. And let each breath out invite more relaxation into your body. Breathing in and out smoothly and slowly. Noticing how the air moves in and out through your nostrils. Noticing where your rib cage expands and contracts. Noticing your awareness of your body, where it is in space right now. And turning the attention, even just momentarily, to the thoughts. Witnessing your thoughts as they move by. Breathing in and breathing out is the single most important thing you do in any moment of the day. Don't let that to-do list overrule you. Don't let it run your life. If you're feeling overwhelmed, close your eyes and return to your breath. You can do that anytime. Just finding a quiet place to sit once or twice a day. Sitting for even 3 or 4 minutes. It's a fairly short amount of time in 24 hours. Sitting for just a few minutes, noticing your breath as it moves in and out. Everything else can wait. It's like pushing the pause button. What a wonderful thing to just be able to push the pause button. Going back to that essential, that most essential of all of the functions of your body, the breath. Without this, there is nothing else. Without the breath, there is no heartbeat. Without the breath, there is no digestion. Without the breath, there is no nutrition moving in and out of the cells of your body. There's no movement in your body. So allow yourself these pauses during the day, at least a couple times during the day, just to sit and notice. Maybe even take your right hand and place it on your chest, and then cover your right hand with your left, and feel how your body responds as you breathe in and out. Feel expansion and contraction underneath your hands, the rising and falling of your chest. And take your hands together for a moment in an expression of gratitude, and take a moment to be thankful for your breath. A moment to be thankful for your presence, your awareness, your light, your compassion, your eternal beauty. And we are all eternally beautiful. And then you can raise your eyes if you'd like. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.